stop the presses, guys. I did not buy any mauve colored yarn. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kristen, and if you're new here, this is a little corner of the interweb where I come at you most weeks, not every week, but most weeks on a regular basis and share what I've been making, primarily knitting. We do lots of sewing, quilting, crochet. We dive down many different rabbit holes here on this channel. So if that is your jam and you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. This past week we went to Barcelona. We had an amazing time, but that meant that I could not upload or record. I'm sure you understand, but I'm back with many a thing to catch you up on. I do have a yarn haul to share with you that I procured from Barcelona, so I'm excited to share that with you. I have some updates on some projects that I've been working on, and surprise, surprise, I have 2 new projects that I started since I got back. So we've got a lot of ground to cover today. So if that's something you're into, gather around, grab a cup of something, and let's get into things. We're not gonna do what Margot the Mannequin is wearing this week because clearly she's indisposed at the moment. She's not wearing anything. We'll save that for another week, but in the meantime, let's talk my Kismet pullover. It's basically flying off the needles, and I'm happy to report that I am now basically done with the first sleeve. So here we go. This is what it looks like so far in all its glory. This is, again, the Kismet Pullover by Rachel Illsley, and she has some really beautiful color work patterns out there. If you're not familiar with her work, just check her out on Ravelry. In fact, I'll link to her Ravelry shop down below in the description box, along with everything else that I mentioned in this episode. But this was one that really caught my eye and could not resist casting on. And for the millionth time, I mean, this is the front, for the millionth time, this is my own hand-dyed yarns, Voolenvine yarns, in my Nouveau base, which is a single ply fingering weight merino superwash. So main color here is Grim. I am not alternating skeins, and I'm really pleased with the way it's turning out. I mean, there's no obvious pooling, it's just knitting very evenly. Like, it has like this very space dyed effect, which is making me very happy. And then the other colors in here, I'll hold it up to the screen. So the color that I cast on with is Poe, and then this golden color right here is Laudanum. And then, of course, we've got Grim mixed in there, and then this lighter shade of gray is WIP. So yeah, I really love the way that these colors are playing together. Just in time for summer, a new sweater, my friends, right? So yeah, all that's left to do is finish the cuff on this. There goes my double pointed needle. And then finish the next sleeve. And we've got all these glorious ends to weave in at the end of the rainbow. So yeah, what else do I want to say about this? For the sleeves, I have actually been using my Chiaogu Shorty needles to knit in the round, and I love those. But for some reason, when I hit the cuff, I'm knitting knit one, purl one for the ribbed cuff, and I found it, you know, I did switch to a shorter cable, and I noticed that it was feeling a little fiddly, so I panic ordered some double pointed needles from Amazon. I got some KnitPicks Sunstruck. Here's what they look like in the case. And yeah, these came in no time. Like, I ordered them like one afternoon and they got to me by the next afternoon. So thanks, Amazon. But yeah, these, I have to say, I just, because typically I don't really knit with double pointed needles, so I kind of just wanted something that I could just have on hand for these types of situations where, you know, whatever circular needle I have for knitting in the round isn't working. And I have to say, these are very nice. Let me see. And they have like different colors too. Like, I know they have their Caspian colored double pointed needles, Harmony. I got the Sunstruck just because they're photogenic. They go with everything, which is kind of a weird, crazy way, you know, reason for picking them out. I don't know, but that's how I roll. But other than I chose the neutral shade, I really love the feel of them. They're very smooth, and they have a decent point. They're not too sharp and they're not too blunt. So I'm really enjoying the way that these are helping me out right now. So these are the 5-inch length, but they did also come in, I believe, 4-inch and 6-inch, and I think even 8-inch. I could be wrong, but yeah, lots of variety. So, you know, that's my slapdash review of KnitPicks Sunstruck double pointed needle set. Oh, and these go from a size US 0, 2.0mm, all the way up to a US size 3, 3.25mm. Just so you know, FYI. So yeah, that's where I am with my Kismet. The next thing that I want to share with you is something that I cast on for vacation. This is a project that I was going to work on the airplane going to Barcelona and coming back from Barcelona. However, going to Barcelona, I ended up doing my best to sleep on the plane there because it was an 8-hour flight going and coming back. And of course, while we were there, it was one of those trips where it's just like go, 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 sightseeing, barely any downtime. So didn't really get to knit on anything at all while I was in Barcelona, but on the way back, that was a different story. That was a painful flight because yeah, it was like midday, no point in falling asleep because if I did, I would be completely jet lagged. So anyway, I was kind of held hostage in my airplane seat for 8 hours and decided to work on a project that I cast on before I left, and that is the Flying Foxtail wrap. He has a shawl and a wrap. The Flying Foxtail wrap by Stephen West. And yeah, this is where I am with it. And I cast this on using, once again, my own hand-dyed yarns, Voolenvine yarns, in 2 different bases. I have my blitzed base. I'm gonna hold this up so, well, I'll show you the cake so it's easier to see the sparkles. So this is my blitzed base in the opal colorway. And I don't know if you can see the little sparkles in there, but it's got gold stellina, it's fingering weight, superwash merino nylon, and yeah, like that 5% bit of gold stellina in there. So this, and then my newest yarn base, which is Phantasm, it's my Surrey Silk Alpaca, and this is in my Venus Flytrap colorway. Very, very Oscar the Grouch vibes, but again, I'm so here for it. I love the way, like the Surrey Alpaca, guys, so stinking soft. So yeah, I caked this up with the intention of working on this on the plane ride, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a couple of false starts with this. So, you know, I cast it on and for some reason my stitch count kept getting mixed up. It is brioche. It's relatively, I will say, it's relatively, words Kristen, simple brioche, straightforward, with your average left and right brioche increases. And then these crazy rapid increase loops right here. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, it does that. So I cast it on, my stitch count got messed up, ripped it out again, and cast back on. And, you know, while the pattern is very clear, it's very straightforward, there's a part of me that really wishes that he would chart it out so I could visualize how, you know, what I'm actually knitting, if that makes any sense. Because yeah, try as I might, my stitch count just kept getting mixed up, and I had to find creative ways to fudge increases here and there and decreases. And at the end of the day, I realized I really wasn't enjoying the pattern. It just required too much brain power. Maybe it's because I was a little jet lagged, tired from the trip, but yeah, it wasn't going. I wasn't feeling it. And, you know, even when I got back, I tried working on it, putting a couple of rows in, and I will be honest, this pattern is not for me. I'm not enjoying it. And it kind of bums me out because I really do kind of want the finished object, and I really do love the color combination happening in here. But, you know, if I'm not enjoying the journey, so to speak, like what's the point? So instead of, you know, slogging through this, I'm just gonna rip it out and find another pattern for this colorway combination. So yeah, a little bit of a tale of woe there, but you know, that was my Flying Foxtail wrap. Again, if you love brioche, I say go for it. It's, again, a very clearly written pattern. Stephen West patterns are typically very clear, and he always has video tutorials to go along with stitches, so, you know, you're in good hands. But for me, the process I just wasn't feeling the process, if that makes any sense. So, you know. So anyway, that's pretty much what I've been working on since I last chatted with you. But since I got back from vacation, I don't know what was in the water, but I was bitten by not only the quilting bug, but also the crochet bug. So yeah, I'm not sure if I talked about this with you. Maybe I only talked about it with channel members, but I was contemplating making a quilt for our dining room just as a wall hanging because it's a little desperate for some wall art. So I got it in my head that I was going to make a quilt just to hang on one of the walls, and I settled on the Montana Primrose quilt by Laundry Basket Quilts. So I ordered the Fat Quarter Bundle kit from the Laundry Basket Quilts website, and I ordered templates to go along with it. So this is a bag of templates, and yeah, as soon as I got home, I just decided to go ham and make this quilt. And I'm happy to report that we have a very nice, healthy pile of triangles. So yeah, I've been a busy bee. So I don't know where I got all this energy from, but I am making a lot of progress on it. So yeah, right now I have, let me see, one, two, I don't know. I think I have about maybe 7 or 8 different variations of rectangles, and the whole pattern is basically made up of all of these triangles. The same size triangles, but different construction triangles, if that makes any sense. So here's another one. So you can see this triangle was sewn to this piece right here, and then you add this strip to finish the triangle. So you can see how easily it's very potato chippy, if you will, because each triangle has a totally different construction, which keeps things interesting and exciting. And yeah, clearly, because I'm basically plowing through this project. Look at that one. This one is really cool. I love the contrast between this one. And yeah, the fabric just makes me so happy. Let me see here. This one was kind of a cheat because it's just a basic triangle. We've got a lot of them, so that was half the battle, cutting all those out. But you know, I just popped on an audiobook and had at it. So yeah, look at this one. This one's really pretty. And then yeah, this is the last one that I worked on. Oh no, there are 2 more. So here's another one. Look how pretty. Love these. And then okay, and then this one, I'm having a little bit of, I've hit a little bit of a roadblock. As you can see, yeah, there's a lot happening in this triangle where she has you sew 3 different strips of fabric together, and then you take a template, lay it on the strips, and then cut it out from there. So you get like this, it makes it really quick to cut out these pieces, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I was having a little bit of a trouble with this one because after I sewed the 3 strips together using a 1/4 inch seam, as the pattern suggests, the template, laying it on the 3 strips, it wasn't fitting onto the fabric pieces, if that makes sense. So I'm a little concerned that if I proceed with this triangle the way I have, it's like the finished size of this triangle is not going to match up to the finished size of the other triangles. So I might just put this particular triangle on the back burner for now and come back to it after I'm done with the other triangles and see if I can come back to the pattern with a fresh mind for that one. And if not, if things are still not matching up, I may have to panic order some replacement fabric so I can start over with that particular block, which thankfully the pieces required are only fat quarters. So I only need 3 fat quarter replacements thus far. So anyway, that felt very rambly, but TDLR, I may need to order some more fabric to redo that particular block. Anyway, so I started the quilt, the Montana Primrose quilt, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to say about it other than, yeah, it's going, it's flying, I'm enjoying it, and you know, who knows, maybe in a couple weeks I will have a finished quilt top. We shall see, we shall see. The second project is, as I mentioned, a crochet project. And I first caught wind of this pattern from following, I should say, following Nora Ling on Instagram. And if you're not familiar with Nora Ling, she also has a crafting podcast, or I should say YouTube channel. She has a crafting YouTube channel, and she's also Nora Ling on Instagram. And I actually met her at Edinburgh Yarn Festival a couple years ago, and she's awesome. I really, really like her, and especially, like, I feel like we have a very similar aesthetic. We have the same taste in projects and style, and anyway, she's wonderful. There's a little bit of a language barrier because her channel is completely in German, which I will say isn't totally a language barrier because I do understand and speak a little German, granted very, very little. There's definitely room for improvement, but that does not stop me from appreciating her makes. I mean, go check her out. I'll link to all of her social media avenues down below. In my spare time, I am trying to learn German, so when I do, I love to immerse myself in German-spoken podcasts, YouTube channels, and all that stuff. So I always look forward to catching up with her videos because it also gives me an opportunity to improve my German. So anyway, thank you, Nora. You are awesome. But she recently finished crocheting this doily and posted it on Instagram, and I was like, that is so beautiful. I totally want to make one. So she inspired me to cast one on as well, and here's where we are. So pretty. I'm obsessed, guys. I cast this on maybe 3 days ago and have not been able to put it down. And this is the Tidesage doily by Julia Hart. And I have to say, it's a very simple. It looks complicated and lacy and crazy, but it's really only just made up of very basic crochet stitches. So in US crochet terms, we've only got single crochet, double crochet, a few treble crochets, and then your average double crochet decrease. It's very straightforward. The pattern's very well written, very clear, and yeah, I'm having a ball with it. I'm loving it. And I cannot wait to see what this looks like when it's blocked and finished. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much, guys. And the thread that I'm using, the crochet thread, is, I believe it's Aunt Lydia's crochet thread, size 10. I think I picked this up from Joann. I'm pretty sure I picked it up from Joann Fabrics, and I think it's in the antique colorway and off-white. I don't know. I don't remember, but it's kind of like this antique cream color. And as for the hook, I'm using a tulip size 7 or 1.65 millimeter needle. So a very fine hook. Yeah, so really, really enjoying it. I think in the pattern, there's a total of 30 rounds, and I believe I'm on the 25th round. So yeah, I'm gonna be done pretty soon, and then I'm probably gonna have to cast on another one because this was so much fun. So that's my crochet project, guys. That's what I've been working on. And so I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's all the creative content that I want to share with you. But that only leaves my Barcelona yarn haul. Are you excited? Because I'm excited to share with you. And it's in this, I put it in this awesome tote bag that I got from one of the Gaudi houses that we went to, or Gaudi buildings. It wasn't Casa Batlio, it was the other one, and I'm completely blanking on it. If you're not familiar with Gaudi, I would say he is the Stephen West of architects. I mean, there's no other way to describe him to knitters. But yeah, all of his structures are incredibly very out of the box, wavy gravy, organic. I mean, think Art Nouveau, very organic lines, very Dr. Seuss in some respects. It's a little wild, but I was so completely inspired by the whole trip. I mean, spoiler alert, in this week's shop update, I'm gonna have a lot of Gaudi Barcelona inspired colorways. So look out for the newsletter this week, guys, which you can subscribe to by clicking. There's a link down below to sign up for my Voolenvine Yarns newsletter, so you don't miss out on shop update info. So yeah, it'll all be in there. Anyway, so I put it all in this really awesome absinthe tote bag that I picked up there. And the first yarn shop that I went to was located in the Gothic quarter, which is one of Barcelona's oldest parts of town. So, you know, you have a lot of very narrow winding roads. You can easily get lost, and yeah, it's really cool. Lots of awesome shops, restaurants, and the yarn shop that I went to is called All You Knit Is Love, and I actually did get lost trying to find it. Funny story, because I did actually get lost trying to find this yarn shop. You know, Dennis and I were using Google Maps and our signal was off, and Dennis, you know, says, why don't you go ask that man over there, you know, if he can, you know, point you in the right direction. So I go over to this guy. He's, you know, lifting up the gate to the storefront, and I was like, excuse me, sir. And then he turns around and I look behind him and it's just all yarn. And I was like, never mind, I found you. So that was pretty funny. And this yarn shop was so cool. I mean, it was very tiny but mighty. And you walk in and you actually do feel very cozy and welcome. And as it turns out, the shop owner, and I'm so sorry if you're watching this, I'm blanking on your name, but he's so kind and so welcoming. He's actually the co-owner of the shop. His wife is the hand dyer of All You Knit Is Love, because not only do they sell local brands and, you know, other yarns, but his wife actually hand dyes yarn as well. And they had a whole wall of her hand dyed yarns and a whole table, but really, really beautiful colorways. I could not resist coming away with some. I mean, they're just stunning, stunning colorways. And one, well, I got an SQ's worth, or I think I could probably get a sweater out of this, but I got 2 of each. So in this colorway, well, first of all, can we talk about the labels? I love these labels. They're so fun. And this is her One More Row base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon in her gold curry colorway. Yeah, it's all hand dyed in Barcelona, so could not resist. Got two skeins of her One More Row, and then same colorway, just a different base in her bokeh base, which is, of course, mohair, 72% mohair, 28% silk. And I really do love the fact that she named this base bokeh, because if you're not familiar, in photography, bokeh refers to the shallow depth of field. So, you know, photos where, you know, the subject is in focus, but the background's all blurry. The blurry background is what you call bokeh. And it's so fitting because, yeah, mohair, when you add mohair to your knitting, it adds kind of like a blurry effect. So I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I think I could get a sweater out of this, you know, maybe something with, maybe a crop sweater, if anything. So anyway, we'll figure it out. The other colorway that I came away with, again, on her One More Row base, was Batlio Sage. So this, I believe she named after Casa Batlio, another Gaudi masterpiece. And I fell head over heels in love with this color. I mean, it's just a really beautiful, look at the subtle speckles in there. It's just so pretty, so pretty. Yeah, so I got 1 skein of that. So I don't know, this may become a pair of socks should my sock mojo come back, or I might inject it into a sweater or shawl, something color work. We shall see. So there's that. And the other yarn that I came away with from that shop is this one. It's locally spun, locally hand dyed, and it was just so beautiful. It's by Wool Dreamers, Dehesa de Barrera. Look how scrumdiddlyumptious that looks. It's just a really nice, I want to say, you know, worsted to Aran weight yarn. And it's, yeah, lana marina, 100% Española. Yeah, I get 262 yards or 240 meters, 100 grams. So, you know, typically not a colorway I would gravitate towards for myself, but the colorways that he had on hand were very limited. And this is the one that I feel like I could, you know, would complement my complexion and skin tone and all that jazz. There were 2 skeins that he had in a really nice lime green shade, but I feel like if I were to knit something out of it for myself, I would just get completely washed out. It was really pretty though. I'm gonna keep an eye on their website, so if they do get more on stock, I might order some more. So yeah, but anyway, just had a really nice experience there. Again, I'm so sorry I'm blanking on his name and his wife's name. I'll link to the shop down below in the description box. But if you do go to Barcelona, I mean, put that on your list because it's an awesome, cute little shop. The second yarn shop that we went to was near the Sagrada Familia, which is a basilica designed by, you guessed it, Gaudi. And oh my goodness, you guys, the Sagrada Familia, holy cow, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I got out of the cab and, I mean, we saw it from a distance from our hotel, but up close, it's very awe-inspiring. That's like no words can describe what you feel when you see this thing in person. It is incredible. So anyway, Dennis and I went to that. I mean, I could probably make a whole episode on the Sagrada Familia. I took so many photos. If you follow me on Instagram, I do have some photos that I shared from it. So, you know, I highly encourage that you go check that out because super, super beautiful basilica, guys. Yeah. Anyway, so after we were done being annoying tourists there, we made our way to another yarn shop about a 5-minute walk away called Knit in Barcelona. And again, another really small, tiny cute little yarn shop. I mean, when I walked in, there were 3 women knitting around a table, and it was just very quiet, very peaceful, and you know, incredibly, again, the shop owner could not have been more helpful, more kind and welcoming. Did not speak any English. You know, my Catalan is non-existent. And I am so embarrassed to say that, you know, when I went there, I thought that, you know, the language was Spanish. It is not. It is Catalan, which is, I would have to say, it's kind of a combination of, or a hybrid of Spanish and French. So it's a completely different language compared to Spanish. Anyway, minus 10 points for stupid American tourist. Anyway, we made it work. We were able to communicate, and, you know, like I was able to convey that I was, you know, interested in local yarns, and she pointed me in the direction of, you know, again, there was Katia and, you know, again, the usual suspects that you can probably easily get here in the United States, but there were several brands that I was like, no, that's what I'm coming away with. And one in particular that I was drawn to was this one called Cast-ons. Here's the label. And yeah, you can tell, like, this green, I was very drawn to. I didn't come away with mauve. Stop the presses, guys. I did not buy any mauve colored yarn. I mean, who am I? But it's all about the greens this trip. Greens and golds and yellows. So yeah, I got 2 balls of this, which is, again, made in Spain. It's 100% superwash merino, and it doesn't, I have to say, it doesn't feel like superwash merino. It's very, very woolly. And I would say it's, even though it's fingering, it's very lace weight. I mean, look at that. Yeah, that could easily be lace weight. So I got 2 balls of this, and I figure I could knit a heirloom lace shawl. I mean, possibilities are endless, whatever. So yeah, 2 balls of that. And then let's see, what else did I get? This one was really, really interesting because I've never seen anything like it. Again, by Cast-ons. And she explained that a lot of people knit or crochet bikinis out of this yarn because it has, I want to say it's almost like, it has like a scuba fabric feel to it. Like it does have very bathing suit vibes to it. And I'm noticing that it is pilling just a little bit, but yeah, that's not bothering me. It's almost like, I have to translate this, but if I had to guess, there's, you know, it's nylon yarn, and it's barber poled with some other fine thread. I don't know, but, and the plan for this is not to make a bikini, just because I don't really have a desire to knit or crochet my own bikini for some reason. I don't know. Plus, I already have a green bikini. We're all set. We're good. But I got 3 balls of it, and I figure maybe I can crochet myself a market bag or a tote, because I really do love this color, and I don't know, I kind of have been looking on the prowl for a market bag in this color, and the material seems like it could take some wear and tear. It's waterproof, it can, yeah. So I figure market bag. Market bag is the destiny for this yarn. And now my nose is very, very itchy, but that is my Barcelona yarn haul. Let me know in the comments down below, have you worked with any of these yarns before? Particularly, cannot talk. Particularly the Cast-ons, because I have never heard of this yarn, but it is really, really nice. So again, I will link to these yarn shops down below. I do believe that they ship. I know you can shop on their website, but I'm not 100% sure if they ship to the US. I will have to investigate. But yeah, anyway, very, very excited about my yarn purchases, and cannot wait to find projects for them. So yes. All right, my friends, I feel like this episode is going to be way too long for my liking and your liking. You know, again, typically I like to keep these episodes down to around ballpark 15 to 20 minutes long, but because it's been a while and I had a lot to share, this may be a 30-minute episode. So if you're still here, thank you so much for hanging out with me this week. If you're new here and you haven't already, feel free to like and subscribe down below. If you'd like to support this channel and the work that I do, you can do so by becoming a member. Just go to the homepage of this channel and click the join button, and for the price of a monthly fancy schmancy cup of coffee, you can unlock some bonus features, including mini waffles, which are little vlogs that I publish throughout the week. They're very casual, just checking in with you guys, catching you up on what I'm up to life-wise, craft-wise, some behind the scenes stuff. You know, you get to see behind the scenes of, you know, my yarn shop and everything. So yeah, if you do decide to become a member, thank you so much. And if you are already a member, you're the best, and just know that I greatly, greatly appreciate you. So that said, all right, my friends, I am gonna sign off. Have an amazing weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.